want to speak about why I'm personally optimistic about crypto and what it means for the American people.
Let them hear it, guys! Woo!
How are you, Las Vegas? Hey, guys, we're bringing Bitcoin to America, and America is going to win the crypto revolution. That much I can tell you right now.
You are the guy in the White House. What's happening in the White House?
Then Bitcoin $1 million is just easy.
I mean, this is a golden era for the United States, Bitcoin, and the world.
Yes, it is. Are you bullish yet? This episode is brought to you by Saylor, affordable eSIM data for international travel by makers of NordVPN. Welcome to Las Vegas, Sin City, the Strip, where what happens here stays here, and where Bitcoiners have come to celebrate.
Welcome to Las Vegas. If you look behind me, there are hundreds of people on this corridor alone, which is just a fraction of the 30,000 people that the conference expects. Welcome to Bitcoin 2025. Let's go and look around the conference. Good afternoon, good sir. How's it going? Are you good?
30,000 plus. That's bigger than any crypto conference out there. And this one is bringing the biggest names, not just from Bitcoin, but from the upper reaches of the US government straight to Las Vegas, to the Bitcoin community and beyond. 10 months ago, Crypto.com put Bitcoin on the sphere in the city. Fast forward to May 2025, and here we are, Bitcoiners taking over the Las Vegas Strip. The message is clear. The Trump administration wants the US to be the world's capital for Bitcoin. And what a political powerhouse, taking the message to the masses. Vice President J.D. Vance had crowds lined up and pegged in where he proclaimed 100 million Americans will own Bitcoin.
This isn't a conference of people, this is a movement, and I'm proud to stand with you here today. And I think this conference, this movement of people is where the future of cryptocurrency in this great country gets decided. I think the last several years have made it clear that we're talking about genuine, ground-up innovation, one that's already improving the well-being of tens of millions of our fellow citizens. I believe it's 50 million Americans own Bitcoin, and I believe that's going to be 100 million before too long.
100 million Americans. Wow. Apart from the vice president, both Trump's sons were here with Altcoin Daily. Eric Trump saying the fam are Bitcoin maxis.
I'm telling you right now, everybody in the world wants Bitcoin. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're, royal families. I don't care if you're the biggest, financial institutions. And now every single day, it's another sovereign wealth fund. Look what GameStop just did. Look what Truth Social did. Every single day, people are allocating billions and billions of dollars to it. 0.1 Bitcoin is going to be worth an absolute fortune.
Don Jr. was here with Rumble in support of all things free speech. The video platform going full on Bitcoin, even enabling its own wallet.
Where did you see that? When did you get orange pilled?
Dan Bongino linked us up, and I think I was the third verified user on Rumble, and we fought for that. And so I think what's going on here in this very room, at this very conference, you understand that this is truly a fight for our civilization, for Western values, and we cannot lose that fight.
The White House here in full force, fighting indeed. David Sachs, the crypto czar, on stage with the Winklevoss twins from Gemini. This is a direct, first-hand policy discussion on the literal future of finance.
And we want this innovation happening in the United States. We don't want it driven offshore. That's basically what was happening before, is because under the Biden administration, and as we all know, Elizabeth Warren had the auto pen, all this innovation was being driven offshore. It was being driven to other countries. And that's not the American way. I mean, the American way is always to be the innovator, the leader in technology, and we want this financial revolution happening in the United States. We want to be leading in this. We don't want to be driving it offshore. It's crazy.
And it's crazy just how massive of a conference this is and the impact it can have. Just follow us.
Come, let's walk through the conference and let's see what else we find.
Following David Sachs on stage was Bo Hines, the White House Director of Digital Assets.
A lot of people are coming from the stage. There are always new people speaking. This is the place where we're gonna get all the speakers and bring it to you guys. Now let's head over to our set where we sit down for the major interviews. Come.
And here we are at our set, sitting down with him to understand why he says the US will be the Bitcoin superpower of the world.
But first of all, I want to say thank you so much for the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, and it's just an incredible different vibe here. You are the guy in the White House. What's happening in the White House?
Well, look, it's a complete sea change, right? I mean, this is an industry that's been broadly beaten down, kicked down, victims of lawfare like we've never seen before. And the president said very clearly, you know, we're going to make the United States the crypto capital of the world. We're going to welcome in the golden age for digital assets. I feel like we're well on our way of achieving that. You know, there's still a lot of work to be done, but we've made tremendous progress in the first 5 months. And it's really it's amazing just to feel the energy in this room. You know, I think that people recognize what we're doing here. We want to welcome innovators home. And so my message to folks that have gone offshore is welcome back to the United States of America. This is the best place to build. We have the greatest capital markets in the world. Anyone working in the digital asset space, we want you building here.
What a time to be alive, actually. It's just incredible. How much emphasis you guys put on technology versus the asset itself, the network, decentralized network. What is the White House stand on that?
Well, look, I mean, first and foremost, I'll say we love Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is finite. It's a commodity, not a security. It has intrinsic stored value. It has the immaculate conception, as David and I like to say. I mean, this is an unbelievable asset class that we wanted to harness on behalf of the American people, which we've done through the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. We'll look at those budget neutral ways of accumulation. We want as much Bitcoin as we can possibly get. I can't say that enough. But we're also very encouraged with what's happening in other ecosystems in this space, right? I mean, a big part of the digital assets ecosystem is the technology and how those technologies can be implemented into a traditional financial system. So, you know, with Genius moving in the Senate, we feel like we're fixing the archaic plumbing that's existed inside the current financial system. That paves the way for, you can have tokenization of public securities, 24/7 markets, all these very exciting things. If you want to access those marketplaces, you're going to have to do it through a US dollar-backed stable. We're talking about securing US dollar global dominance for decades to come and truly revolutionizing the financial system more generally. So it's an exciting time to be alive.
Do you see the government selling gold for Bitcoin?
We'll see. I mean, Senator Lummis has introduced the Bitcoin Act in 2025, right? I think it's very exciting. The prospect of doing that is certainly one that I welcome, and you know, we'll see how many other actors we can pull on side. But you know, she's making great progress with that bill. I think she has a co-sponsor in Senator Jim Justice now. We'll let the legislative process mature a little bit, but there's great ideas out there, and we want to move on them.
Where do you see Bitcoin all-time high going in the next 12 to 24 months?
Well, look, I'm not a financial advisor. I have to be very careful here, but I think the sky's the limit. I really do. I mean, it's hard to even forecast. You know, I think there's some odd 50 million Americans that now own Bitcoin. It's just remarkable, the progress that one, this community has made in the midst of tremendous headwinds, but moreover the entire ecosystem itself, and we just want to encourage and foster that.
I personally truly appreciate you, and I'm sure the people as well. Thank you so much for everything.
We all appreciate Washington's embrace of Bitcoin. From the top 2 White House officials we heard from to a parade of Washington insiders. Senators from Wyoming to West Virginia talking the Genius Act with Coinbase, to various congressmen and Byron Donalds talking stablecoins, to governor candidates like Vivek, to the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, calling for Bitcoin bonds.
I believe we need to have a bit bond, and I am going to push and fight to get a bit bond in New York so you can do those same bond investments in New York City.
Hopefully to lead the state of Ohio as not only a governor that lifts up the lives of people in my state, but as the strongest pro-Bitcoin governor in the nation.
But there's just a forward-looking optimism, of not just about the possibilities, but even an excitement about the unknown.
It's going to mark the first time in the United States' history that we've had this type of framework. Where do things stand right now with Genius, and how do you see the act moving forward?
Well, we thought it would be easiest to start with stablecoins because it is fully 100% backed by fiat currency. So we think that we'll vote for cloture on Monday and start the amendment process just next week. It is the first bill in 8 years to come out of the banking committee.
Amazing.
Amazing indeed. All this is bullish in Washington and beyond. But let's get back to our Bitcoin roots. Who is an OG in Bitcoin who's also this bullish? Brock Pierce.
What a time. What a time. How you feeling?
I mean, I'm enthralled. I mean, here we are, 30,000 people, Bitcoin 2025,
J.D. Vance, the sitting, or as the case may be, standing Vice President of the United States of America, giving an important address to the Bitcoiners of the United States and the world, and then followed by the crypto mayor, our mayor of New York City. I mean, how far we've come from lawfare, ridiculed, choke point 2.0, vilified, demonized, sensationalized, to now America's backbone.
But how do you see Bitcoin and the trajectory for the US in the next 12, 24 months?
I mean, based on what we heard today, I think we're good for at least 3.5 years. We have a crypto president, we have a crypto mayor, we have an administration that values us. So I mean, I don't know how we could. Obviously, markets will be markets, but I mean, we're golden. I mean, this is a golden era for the United States, Bitcoin, and the world.
Where do you see Bitcoin in this cycle?
I mean, with everything we're seeing right now, I said it earlier, I thought we could break 200,000 this year. I think we could even break 250. I usually don't make price predictions, but I mean, look at what's going on. Exactly. All the as I like to say now, the IPO is the new ICO. Right. Public markets, we've made it.
We have, haven't we? All conference long, we had the biggest names in Bitcoin preaching their vision, many touting just how high Bitcoin will go. We heard the $1 million prediction over and over again. Jack Mellers, Michael Saylor, 𝗙𝗘𝗙𝗙 are all getting huge ovations like this walking in.
Presentation today is directed at the 8 billion people on the planet. It's the 21 ways to wealth for every individual, every family, every small business, every entrepreneur.
And in my opinion, I think the asset class has gotten big enough to where we're embarking on Bitcoin's new wealth paradigm.
And so if we have less Bitcoin on exchanges due to ETF demand, and we're printing double the amount of money between now and 2028 than when we did till COVID, then Bitcoin $1 million is just easy.
And our mission has remained the same throughout. Bring Bitcoin to the world with self-sovereignty, security, and scale. As we go from 100 million users to 1 billion users.
We also spoke with Adam Back, and he confirmed his comments, like others, that Bitcoin can hit 1 million. It's absolutely crazy. He's one of the first Bitcoin developers, and his company Blockstream helping pave the way. Other OGs like Max Keiser and Fefe echoing it all.
This is something you've been preaching for years and years and years.
Yes.
And now we're here.
You
don't seem excited. I thought you're going to be like euphoric and like we're here.
Well, this is not the end game. This is just getting closer to the end game. The end game is when we cross over the Bitcoin singularity. We see the face of Satoshi. We merge with Satoshi. We enter the Satoshi consciousness. People say when I'm on Twitter and I say Bitcoin is God, they think I'm joking, but I'm not joking. Let us pray.
Fantastic.
Yeah, still the same thing. It's just marching through and its number go up forever. It's just a matter of time, how quickly it happens.
When do you see Bitcoin next 12 to 24 months?
Likely up. Well, probably we're going to get a big bull market in the next few months. Maybe a crash a little bit later if history is anything to go by. So, we may not be significantly higher in 2 years' time. But 4 years' time, I think we'll be significantly higher for sure.
What is significant?
More than double, I'd say. Probably, yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
4 years' time, more than double, and I'll take that. But enough price predictions. Let's go beyond the headlines and talk Bitcoin in action, in use, building with Bitcoin that all these exhibitors are focused on. An entire economic ecosystem where institutions like WENEC and major companies like Block and Square taking payments and all their POS systems in Bitcoin, to BlackRock sitting with Bitcoin historian Pete Rizzo talking all things ETFs, to Gemini here introducing the Bitcoin credit card and even giving away cyber trucks to encourage adoption.
And again, Block has made early, principled bets on Bitcoin. We're actually building a full Bitcoin for Businesses stack. Whether they want to hold it as Bitcoin, convert it into local currency, whether they want to keep their Bitcoin in the Square ecosystem, or whether they want it to automatically be swept out to self-custody.
But the fastest ETF to $50 billion, it's already breaking records. Where do we go from here?
Obviously, it's been a historic run for IBIT and really for the whole Bitcoin ETF category in the first 16 months of life, really.
To go on that journey, we sat down with Vanek to discuss the institutionalization of Bitcoin via ETFs and mass adoption.
It's been a crazy year.
It's been a great year.
How you guys, what was the biggest thing for you this year that you said, this is it?
The change in the political environment cannot be understated. It is incredibly important to have this leadership at the top from President Trump, basically instructing every agency in the government to adopt a pro-Bitcoin, pro-crypto regulatory landscape. Right? So that is a complete 180. It has really changed minds among investors, especially institutional investors. So it's just really the volume of inbound requests for information, and we've obviously seen very strong inflows across our investment products as well.
What do you think is the biggest impact that this had in people's mind? Do you see different people reaching out, institutions, much bigger interest that basically rejected crypto before? How do you see the landscape changing?
I think the biggest change is, again, the government shift. And let's move outside the US. The number of countries who are mining Bitcoin at the central government level, this was 2 countries in 2021. El Salvador became the 3rd. In 2024, we had 3 new countries join the club. All of them have debt deals with the IMF. So you start to scratch your head here, like, what do they have in common? They are tired of this never-ending cycle of debt that has been facilitated by the IMF, this extend and pretend where countries lose their sovereignty. So all 3 countries last year, Kenya, Ethiopia, Argentina, who are now mining Bitcoin, with government resources, they had IMF deals. Then look at the countries this year, Pakistan, another country with an IMF deal.
Is America going to be the crypto capital of the planet?
Well, if you look at Bitcoin mining hash rate, we already are. So of the hash rate, US listed companies now control more than 30%. Now we have 2 states that have passed some version of a Bitcoin strategic reserve, New Hampshire and Texas.
But do you think that the National Reserve and basically the acceptance of Bitcoin as legal, a legal asset will have a ripple effect across the world and make countries want to FOMO in or start adopting the same standards?
Yeah, I mean, that's what's happening. And I think that the way that President Trump talks about Bitcoin, he usually mentions AI in the same sentence. So the idea that if we can set up the conditions to be dominant in Bitcoin mining, it's likely that we will also be dominant in AI and in energy infrastructure at the same time. So still feeling bullish for this year.
Thank you, appreciate you as always.
Now, institutionalization of Bitcoin is one thing, but retail adoption is another. And it's one that 𝗙𝗘𝗙𝗙𝗙, the organizer and the conference are committed to big time. They set a Guinness World Record of the most Bitcoin transactions in a single day, over 4,000. And the front line, of course, the store. You see, we start here with the Bitcoin store where you can pay with Bitcoin. They aim to break the Guinness World Record with the most transactions within 24 hours. And if you look around and you turn to the other side, these are all the hundreds of companies that are building on Bitcoin. Let's go, let's look around. Starting with the big dogs, you see Robinhood representing here, onboarding millions into the crypto world. And let's go and look around what else we can find here. Salt, you see Salt here, Bitcoin-backed loans on Bitcoin. You can use your dormant Bitcoin, something that's going to be huge in the future. See Blockstream representing here on the right side. And you, of course, have to have the Bitcoin 2025 sign, as you see it here. But come on, there are a bunch of other cool stuff. As you see in the background there is the Bitcoin credit card, which is Gemini. And I heard they have some cool Cybertrucks as well. I mean, look at these Cybertrucks. I know that you can actually win these Cybertrucks here in the conference. I wanted to get in there, but my test lab didn't allow me, so maybe next time. In the middle, everybody converts sooner or later. You see Rumble here. It's obviously announced that they are
about to acquire a bunch of Bitcoins. This is happening. Rumble. A lot of retail and Web2 businesses represent themselves. You see Steak and Shake here as well. This conference in 2025, a lot of Web2 businesses onboarding into crypto. Steak and Shake, for example, announced that you are able to pay with Bitcoin in all of their restaurants now. Absolutely insane.
Now their CEO is here to announce investors can now buy franchises using Bitcoin.
The day we launched Bitcoin payments at Steak and Shake accounted for 0.2% of the global Bitcoin transactions in the world. So while Bitcoin may be the future, Steak and Shake has brought Bitcoin into the present. And there's no question we've seen an upsurge in our business.
Also bringing an upsurge to Bitcoin, literally, is 10x Ventures head and influencer Grant Cardone, going all in on Bitcoin and real estate. Let's see how it's building with Bitcoin.
We talk with people from the government, but Bitcoin is much more than that. Grant, like you're already huge in real estate, but bringing Bitcoin in, how is that happening? What's going on?
Yeah, so look, when you're in real estate, there's a lot of problems with real estate, but it's been a beautiful investment vehicle for me for many, many years. We have $5.2 billion of multifamily apartment, cash flow positive, great institutional quality assets. And then what we did was we started adding Bitcoin to our real estate purchases. So what we look for is a piece of real estate like that deal I'm doing in Boca. It's $360 million. I'm paying $225 for it, and I'm gonna add Bitcoin back to the top of it and put it in a fund together. And then out of the positive cash flow, I'll continue to buy Bitcoin from the free cash flow. So I get the best of what I consider both worlds. The old world, real estate, and the new world with Bitcoin.
The crypto community, how do you see demand on your side? Traditional investors, people buying and investing in real estate, are they open?
80% of everybody that we put into our funds, I'm on the fourth fund, $300 million, has never invested in Bitcoin.
Okay.
They don't know how to store it, keep it. They don't know the difference between cold storage, like nothing. And they don't need to. They don't have to do 100 hours on Bitcoin. They don't have to know who Mike Saylor is. They just know my real estate's buying the Bitcoin, and they get the exposure of both worlds.
Incredible. Where do you see Bitcoin next 12 to 24 months? Give us something, Greg.
I think before the end of this year, we see 250. We touch 250, and then it'll pull back to like the 140s.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the craziest pullback. Bitcoin pulling back to 100.
It'll be insane. But I think we see $500,000 Bitcoin in the next 2 to 3 years.
I agree. Grant, truly appreciate you.
You got it.
Appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
$500,000. Well, big names like Grant Cardone can move the needle for Bitcoin. But the counter trade, the gold bugs like Peter Schiff constantly argue otherwise. Even he was here stoking the Bitcoin audience.
And this is not something I'm proud of, right? But this is a fact. Based on what I've been told by countless people who have asked me to pose for selfies with them, I am probably responsible for more people owning Bitcoin than any other person at this conference. And every time I tell you guys not to buy Bitcoin, you buy more. So you can thank me.
So as you look around here, you will. Oh, there's Peter Schiff. I have a question for him. Let's see what it says. Hey, Peter, do you still think that gold is better than Bitcoin? No comment. I thought so.
Look around the conference and you will see all these pick and shovel companies supporting the Bitcoin ecosystem, from exchanges to wallet providers, private keys, seed phrases, and more, keeping all things Bitcoin secure. And on another front, a key retail indicator, Robinhood.
Do you see uptick? Is retail here already, or is retail not here already? What's happening there?
Well, it's funny because we are here in Bitcoin Vegas. Bitcoin is what, like $107,000? I remember like 10 or 15 years ago, we were still talking about, is Bitcoin a real thing? Is it going to be something that people are going to use? And now it's like a stablecoin reserve. It's on the treasury of multiple top 500 companies.
So retail is here.
I think retail is here. I think, we saw with the ETF a lot more development also from the retail, like people that don't want to use spot platform, they can also get the ETF through a retirement or a brokerage account. We offer all of that on Robinhood.
100%. What do you think Bitcoin next 12, 24 months in price and in adoption?
What I'm excited about is that it's just the beginning. When you see like this kind of atmosphere with everybody getting into the space, I think it's less a question of like where the price is going to be and more about how are we going to deal with only 21 million Bitcoin and all these people coming in.
So hold on to your Bitcoin. Look around. These look like holders to me. When we come back, we'll take a deep dive into building on Bitcoin. Plus, we'll check out the backbone of Bitcoin, the mining industry. We'll hear a story you cannot believe about 8,000 Bitcoin gone missing. And we'll wrap up with a tribute to 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, who's finally free thanks to the Bitcoin community. From here, let's break and hear from our sponsor. 𝗙𝗘𝗙𝗙𝗙 is a global eSIM service for travelers who want to stay connected on their trips. It offers hundreds of flexible travel data plans, over 200 destinations, quick setup, and 24/7 chat support. Get your travel data sorted with 𝗙𝗘𝗙. Enjoy a smooth, safe, and reliable internet access while you're away. Welcome back to Bitcoin 2025 in the fabulous Las Vegas. This city goes big, and the conference even bigger. 30,000 plus attendees. Wow. Crypto Banter is here, as always, one of the biggest channels in the space, on the front lines in real life at every major global conference. And what do we do best sometimes? We connect with you, the Banter fan, here in real life.
What you see here is the Bitcoin Bazaar, where everything that you see, watches, collectibles, art, everything is on sale for Bitcoin. Let's look around. Oh my God, I need to buy this for my wedding. I'm not even kidding. I'm a jet about it. I need to buy this for my wedding. I wanted to get one of these, so I'm gonna do that. But remember, you can buy all these using Bitcoin, which is absolutely insane. So we have a fan here who said he wanted to say a message to all you.
Hey guys, I love Crypto Banter. It's literally one of the best channels. As a crypto investor, I watch it every single frogging day. It's incredible.
Thank you, bro. You can see all the other shops as well and everything else.
Hey, where's Rand and Sheldon at?
What's up, bro?
What's up, dude?
How's it going?
We know you guys, so
Yeah.
we're big fans.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, oh, big time. We made like custom hats for y'all. It was them that got her into crypto, and so she started a whole brand doing men's fashion, and so
In crypto?
we do hats. Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. What's the name of the business?
So it's 𝗙𝗘𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏
you so much, bro. Thank you. Thank you.
Give these hats up to Rand and Sheldon. Like,
Yeah,
we're big
appreciate it,
fans.
bro. Appreciate it.
You as well.
Now let's go behind the scenes and see the ecosystem being built around Bitcoin. Take a tour on the conference floor and you will see dozens of companies constructing applications like 𝗙𝗘𝗙𝗙, lending like Salt and others, borrowing layer 2s and so much more.
So we stepped away from the conference a little bit. We came for a drink and we met the founder of Bitcoin OS. You guys have a fantastic, innovative setup here. Can we please get two drinks?
Absolutely, my
I
friend.
appreciate it. Tell me more about what are you guys building?
So last year at this conference, when it was in Nashville, we showed for the first time something that people thought was impossible, which was the ability to verify any programmability, any compute, and bring any kind of scalability to Bitcoin. We're now introducing people. We've got the first roll-ups on Bitcoin being launched. We've got the first chains integrating deeply with Bitcoin, so Cardano, Ethereum, Litecoin. And what we're basically doing is we're allowing every single chain to integrate into Bitcoin deeply, turning all of crypto into a single unified system instead of like this fragmented mess, secured by Bitcoin. Yeah,
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.
To building a world on Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of discussion. How do you utilize Bitcoin and why did you decide to build something on top of Bitcoin?
Look, I mean, most of the value in this space is in BTC. The largest institutions and governments in the world today have started to trust Bitcoin, the chain. The network effects are insane. And so where we're going to see people want to issue real world assets, see real financial activity, it's going to be on Bitcoin. And therefore allows the entire world to adopt crypto.
I hear and see these passports and some kind of giveaway. Can you tell me what's happening here?
Yeah, so we decided to do something really cool. What we're building is the tools for freedom. And there's like the technology of freedom, but there's also this other thing. We've made a deal with a country which is going to allow us to buy for you and your family a second citizenship, second passport visa-free travel to 160 countries, and we're doing it as a giveaway. Ultimate freedom.
What do I need to do to hustle one of these passports for me?
There you go.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
For the people who aren't here, if they go online, go to bitcoinos.build. This is the world's best airdrop.
Absolutely incredible. Love it. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck. And now we're back to the show. Come.
Walking back to the set, it's easy to see why everyone is so bullish on Bitcoin. All these companies building across the ecosystem. There's even passport services, real estate, tax compliance providers, and many more. Now we head back to the set to sit down with Toby from Trio, who says Bitcoin isn't just a store of value, it's everything you thought you couldn't do on Bitcoin until now.
First of all, what do you think of the conference? America is back. What do you think?
America is so back. We were promised last year by Trump that it would be, and it's happening, man.
You guys building something super exciting on Bitcoin. We've been talking about it for a long time. I'm excited about what you're doing. Tell us, what are you working on?
Yeah, so I'm a co-founder of Trio. Basically, we're building a Bitcoin native DEX. What we're doing is bringing the liquidity you've seen on other chains to the $2 trillion Bitcoin market.
Why would a Bitcoin DEX or a Bitcoin execution, smart contracts, whatever, would be better on Bitcoin than just do it on any other chain?
And at the end of the day, if you've got Bitcoin instead of Ethereum or Solana, that's a better ingredient for a DEX. So that right there, there's more money in Bitcoin, there's a native token market in Bitcoin, there will soon be loans on houses in Bitcoin, gold products on Bitcoin, art on Bitcoin, the usual token stuff that we all know and love, the governance tokens, the meme coins, they're already on Bitcoin. We help launch multi-billion-dollar tokens like 𝗏 and DOG, which is a $500 million token on the Trio launchpad, which feeds into our DEX. But to be honest, the tech hasn't been there to do a DEX on Bitcoin at the scale we're about to do it, and it is there now.
Yes, how do you see Bitcoin in the next 12, 24 months?
I think we might see a downward swing at some point soon, and then it's going to rip. I think that's what's going to happen. I think we might be getting a little cocky at the moment, but then it's going to rip upwards.
A DEX on Bitcoin, impossible until now. If that's building on Bitcoin in 2025, we have to look under the hood where it all began on the miners rack. Companies like Mara, Bitmain, even ExxonMobil, and so many more lined up here stacking the proof of work network to its core.
Everything about Bitcoin started with Satoshi mining on his computer, and if you look around, there are hundreds of mining businesses out there. Come and see what they're about.
Back at the set, we had to sit down with a real American miner to hear how they are aiming to make the US the center of Bitcoin hash power.
Love your boots. Show us the Bitcoin logo on your boots.
A little subtle signal.
I love it. What's going on in Texas? What's happening?
Oh man, we're wrapping up the Texas 2025 legislative session led on the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. Yeah, just all things Bitcoin coming to Texas. That's what I'm here for.
What will the impact be when it comes to Bitcoin mining in America?
So really we have two directions. Right now, Bitcoin miners can improve grid systems if the rules allow us to. So right now, their grids are stressed, everyone needs more power, and Bitcoin miners in Texas, we support reliability, we support innovation. Really, the Bitcoin miners are kind of the first responders to support grid reliability. So really what we're active on is how do we get more Bitcoiners involved to decentralize Bitcoin mining, not just in Texas, but if you're mining from your home and the grid is stressed, how do you get incentivized to turn down your power? How do you be incentivized to set up your own, battery, solar, home-connected Bitcoin mining setup? But so what we're working on is to create the NERC, the IEEE standards, really the frameworks that allows Bitcoin miners to compete in the system.
Where do you think Bitcoin cycle top is?
I mean, we're definitely going to 500,000. Probably 1 million. That just doesn't seem that crazy. There's also this we got to hodl. Yes, hodl to a level but we need to be spending, in addition to saving sats, we got to be spending sats. So we shouldn't sell sats. You should be publicly shamed if you sell sats. But if you're spending it and you're slinging sats to charities that are doing Bitcoin, hyper-Bitcoinization work, if you're a business trying to build the Bitcoin rails from the fiat system, we need to be supporting those. So that's why we stood up this trade association, the Texas Bitcoin and Grid Alliance. We're starting with energy inefficiencies, but we want any global hyper-Bitcoinization business with the ideas and the principles that accelerate America and the relaunch of these principles. We want you to come to Texas. Everybody needs to get involved and contribute to their version of a philosophy that really builds on what was declared in the Declaration of Independence.
Independence, just like Satoshi. It's refreshing to hear from the industry's backbone, no talks of BS, AI agents, memes, gambling, or any of that. Even drawing public figures like TJ Miller and athletes like Tristan Thompson or Russell Okung from the NBA and NFL, all like everyday Bitcoiners, hopefully for the industry's financial future. One who is still holding out hope is James Howell, who lost 8,000 Bitcoin in a hard drive his girlfriend threw out into a landfill, and now building to get it back.
I see, a lot of people heard your story about losing 8,000 Bitcoin in 2023. And a lot of people lose a lot of crypto for different reasons. How do you cope with that? How do you move on with that?
I'm fine with that. At the end of the day, the hard drive has not disappeared. If this was a piece of paper, there would be no chance. At the end of the hard drive still has the data retained on it. So as long as I recover it, I will be able to get those coins back.
So there is something coming out, or you announced something that you're going to do?
Yeah, so obviously everybody knows the whole story. Over the last 10 years, I've tried to build a recovery team to the highest standards who would dig this and excavate this landfill. And unfortunately, Newport City Council didn't want to negotiate. They didn't want to have a conversation with me. So after that, I decided to take them to the highest court in the UK. And unfortunately, I lost that case as well, and this subsequent appeal. So it seems like everybody from the government within the UK and the authorities wants to shut this down. But we're not giving up.
Do you genuinely believe you're going to find it?
Yes, we do.
Why?
There is only a certain amount of material in that piece of land, and we are willing to search every single piece of hay.
You scan it.
So as long as you search every single piece of hay, eventually you will find the needle. Now we have AI-assisted technology, LiDAR scanners, and other methods to use that have been well tried and tested in other areas in the past. So if we put every single bucket of waste material onto a conveyor belt and scan it with AI, eventually we will find the needle we are looking for.
Okay, so Bitcoin is going to all-time highs. How would you liquidate? What would you do? You find the 8,000 Bitcoin, what next? Should people be worried about you just dumping it on?
Absolutely not. I would be here to increase the ecosystem of Bitcoin. I would want to launch Bitcoin-related businesses and expand Bitcoin in the UK.
Good luck, man. When do you think Bitcoin all-time highs, and how do you see the next 12 months?
I believe we're going to hit 250K over the next 6 months. I'm planning to launch my own tokenization plan in October this year, Token 2049 in Singapore, and I intend to tokenize 21% of a 8,000 Bitcoin wallet, which is 1,675 coins. Now I'm going to tokenize them and offer them to sale for the public. That's going to raise approximately $70 to $80 million, and I'm going to use that to make Newport City Council an offer they cannot refuse.
From one hopeful story to end on another, we can't say enough about the upswell of support the entire Bitcoin community contributed to the release of Ross Ulbricht, founder of Silk Road. This is a special auction of his prisonwares. He made his first huge public appearance since Trump granted him a pardon. Here are some moments with Ross.
I'm here with you. Just a few months ago, I was trapped behind those prison walls and didn't know if I would ever get out. And now I'm free. I'm free, and it's because of you. You made this moment possible. Can you feel that? Let that sink in. You did this. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you're not alone. You are part of something much bigger. This is bigger than Bitcoin. This is bigger than crypto. Freeing me took many, many people from all walks of life coming together and saying, this is not right. It took many people just like you saying, we care about freedom. And keeping somebody like Ross in a cage until he dies is a threat to freedom itself.
What a moment, and what a way to end the Bitcoin conference. Now, I genuinely believe the world is underestimating the power the US Bitcoin strategic reserve could have around the globe. My biggest takeaway from this conference is that we, as the industry, lost a bit of focus. We got lost in shitcoins, AI agents, memes, and other shiny objects. Now instead, maybe, our goal should truly be to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible and follow not only the path of Saylor and others, but ride the Bitcoin wave the US government gave us. And if you want to play around, seeing the builders and understanding where the ecosystem is headed, it is worth paying attention to BitcoinFi, Bitcoin Layer 2s, Ordinals, and who knows what else. That's a wrap from Bitcoin 2025, and I believe I'll see you in the next one.